Hi everyone, so today we're going to be playing a bit of the RickoRex Overwhelm deck, which has been performing quite well. The meta's recently been shaken up quite a bit. Aphelios has just been nerfed. Rest in Peace, Fiora and Twisted Fate have also taken a pretty big hit. Aggro decks are kind of dominating the ladder at the moment, so having something that can go slightly over the top of them is a reasonable place to be. So let's take a look at some of the specific choices in the deck list. So we have 3 copies of Exhaust. This is just an excellent removal spell. It works really well with your Overwhelm units. Sometimes they might have a really good blocker in play for one of your big Overwhelm units, but they might also have a 1/1. You can give that 1/1 vulnerable and use that as a way to force damage through with your Exhaust units. And this card is obviously excellent with something like Renekton as well. Omen Hawk, just a solid early blocker. Might be worth going up to 3 now, given how many early aggressive decks there are in the format right now. But we'll see how we go with that. Shaped Stone, an efficient combat trick. We have 5 ways to activate it in the deck, between 2 copies of Preservarium and 3 copies of Rockhopper. Honestly, probably run more of these if you didn't already have 3 copies of Troll Chant and the 1 Ruthless Predator. It's just hard to have too many cards dedicated to combat tricks, because you really need some creatures in play to keep everything going, so you don't want to flood out on that effect. Preservarium just draws you some more cards. Rockhopper, solid 2-drop. Ruthless Raider, very good 2-drop. Troll Chant and Ruthless Predator, just solid combat tricks. Ruthless Predator is basically Exhaust number 4. You'll probably just play a 4th Exhaust, honestly. Troll Chant, just excellent spell. You can just win multiple combats at once, which is really useful in this deck when you might be attacking with, 5 units at once. If you can win 2 combats off 1 card and 2 mana, that's incredible. Trapper, just great against aggro, great against sort of all decks, honestly. Playing this on turn 3 is just so good. Being able to slam a 5/5 Yeti potentially on turn 4 along with another play is really strong. Renekton, very strong champ. It just has good stats even outside of his ability here, that he gets bigger when he challenges. And if you get him to transform, he's just very threatening. Ruin Runner, some decks just can't deal with this. Spell Shield on this unit is just huge. Alpha Wildclaw, sort of a vanilla creature, not really that sort of scary, but it just has so much power, so much toughness and Overwhelm, which makes it good. Sejuani, another form of removal, big Overwhelm unit. You never flip Sejuani in this deck. Like, that's not really a goal at all. Just use her as removal, use her as a 5/6 Overwhelmer, and when you have one in play, feel free to fire off Sejuani's Fury of the North to get extra damage through and win some combats. Ancient Yeti, strong card in your opener, medium if you draw it later on, but you just need as many Overwhelm bodies as you can get. And then Battle Fury, so this is just a huge spell, giving someone +8/+4 at burst speed is just incredible. And a lot of the games you win often come down to you just open attack, your opponent sets up a bunch of blocks, and then you usually just win the game with a Battle Fury. If you're playing against the deck, be sure to play around Battle Fury when you can. Alright, let's get into a couple of games. Alright, against Zoe Asol. So I'm expecting that they're probably going to have a lot of tools to beat aggressive decks, given the current meta. So I'm thinking they probably have things like potentially Radiant Guardian in their deck. They'll have the Solari Sunforger, the 5/4 Daybreak, it gets lifelink. So what do we want to do? We don't really have a way to answer Zoe outside of something like an Exhaust. Avaros and Trap is going to be good. We want to play a 2-drop. We have so many replacements for this card. Troll Chant is like a possible card to keep because they probably have like single combat, some fight spells, and we could really get some value off Troll Chant. But I think we want to dig. Hitting an Exhaust is good. Obviously, Ancient Yeti is great. The earlier you have this in your hand, the better. Okay, they play the Zoe, and now we've got the answer because we have Exhaust. So they'll get 1-star charts value, but it should be hard for them to not have Zoe die next turn. And yeah, we've just got a curve out hand now. So this is our 3-drop. Ancient Yeti is always a 4-drop if it starts in your opener. So we can play that on 4, and then we can play the Ruin Runner. We'll see how we go. If we get some other cards that are appealing that we might draw, we might just play those instead, particularly because this Avarosan Trapper is going to put quite a powerful card into play. Just clear this Zoe out before it gets out of control. So interesting choice here. We could use Troll Chant to try to save our 3-1. I mean, that doesn't really sound worth it. I'd rather just keep curving out, honestly. Yep. Fine choice by the opponent. So we have a decision point here. They could play a 5-4 with lifelink. And if they do that, if we play Ancient Yeti, which we're looking to get into play probably this turn, then we wouldn't be able to attack anymore. So do we just want to take 3 damage here? So it really comes down to what other cards we think they might have or they might develop instead. What else? If we play this Yeti, we give them the opportunity to use this star chart and look for a Crescent Strike to stun 2 of our units. So there are some real reasons to push 3 damage, but I think I am just going to play the Yeti here. Just because there are other cards they could have and play here, and I feel like we do want to get through as much damage as we can. So yeah, we get rewarded. So they have 2 dragons in hand. Okay, so there's the Sun Forger. I think we're not going to play Ruin Runner. I think this is our turn that we're going to, use Troll Chant. So we can just block. They got an 18. Honestly, I'm pretty okay with that. And then if they use a trick or a single combat or something, we can Troll Chant them. So give an ally plus O+2. So I guess we save this. Shrink their unit down to 3 power. Sure. So they're back up to 20. It's having 1 toughness now is a little bit annoying. We'll see how we go. So if we take the open attack, they'll trade here. We'll get 8 damage through. I'm going to play Ruin Runner, and the reason is because we have this Roiling Sands, it's really hard for them to play like a good unit before we attack here, because we can just we can just challenge it because it'll get vulnerable. Oh, Brightsteel Protector. That's a little bit annoying. So what do we do here? I guess just do something like this. We get 1 damage on a unit. Just going to play the Omen Hawk. Alright, well I'm going to play Ruthless Raider. You always hit an awkward point in these games where I don't want to draw the Enraged Yeti, so it's sort of like putting this in play is a little bit risky, but at the same time, we just need more bodies in play. Okay. So this is tough as well. So we're really hoping for... Like, Trinimir's Battle Fury would be one of our best draws at the moment. I think we're just going to open attack with everything. I don't want to give them the opportunity to develop Aurelion Soul here. So what? So this blocks here. This blocks here. This blocks here. They take what? 4, 5, 9, 12. So yeah. And I think that's their best block. So I guess we just go for this and... Oh, okay. Yeah, of course. They can block the 3/3. Concerted Strike. That's annoying. Alright, well, nothing I can do about that. I mean, at least Aurelion Soul's not coming down this turn. That's something. See, I'm just going to play the Wild Claw here. We'll see what we draw next turn. Okay. That's honestly a good play from the opponent. Just getting some more bodies down is good. Okay, that's awkward. So Aurelion Soul is down, but it doesn't transform yet. So, do we want to play a Sejuani? So we play Sejuani. And then what? They still have pretty good blocks, so I probably don't want to play a Sej here. The issue with not playing it is they get a good open attack now. Alright, we'll just take 10. Sorry, I guess it's not an open attack, but they just get a good attack on us. Yeah, I think we're just going to make ourselves vulnerable to these 2 Aurelion Soul cards. Alright. Fair enough. Alright. Rough. We had a pretty good opening hand this game, and we sort of like, we curved out. We got our value where we could, but yeah, things just haven't really worked out that well for us. And that's sort of one of the downsides to a deck like this is, you know, sometimes you just don't really get there, or you don't have that much variety in what you can do. Like, don't get me wrong, we definitely could have sequenced our plays maybe a bit differently in the mid-game, but it wouldn't have been likely a dramatic change in what we were doing, you know? We're still trying to develop as effectively as we can and push through as much damage as we can. Whereas some other decks, you know, like the Zoe Aphelios deck that used to be quite strong, you could really pivot and really change a strategy depending on what your opponent was doing. Alright, Sivir. Normally the Shadow Isle Shurima decks are sort of a burn list that leans really heavily on, I think it's called Ruinous Path, which is 2 mana. If you've slain a unit, you get to draw a card and drain your opponent for 2 life. And they also run things like Doom Beast, so we'll see if that's what we're playing against, that sort of shell with Sivir included. So the question here is, I mean, yeah, I don't think we can keep a Shaped Stone. When we're keeping the rest of the hand, this is most likely just going to be a +1/+1. It wouldn't be bad to have a way to push through a copy of Azir if we get to that point. But I think with only 5 ways to trigger the Shaped Stone, we just have to pitch it there. Alright, Ruthless Raider down. Oh, wow, alright. That's a big hit. Taking 11 on turn 2. I think I just want to trade off here. Our other option is we can eat this for free because of tough. But I mean, then if we attack, we're trading off for this 2-1. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Our hand is pretty good, but yeah, their start is just really fast, and they have a lot of burn, and we don't have ways to gain life. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and play an Avaros and Trapper here. Okay, Cursed Keeper, I'm going to get in for 3. Hopefully, if they have a Ravenous Butcher here, I think we're just dead. Okay, Bark Beast. Okay, Troll Chant's not bad. Okay, so they can't... What can't they do this turn? They can't play a Blighted Caretaker anymore. So yeah, I guess our main options this turn are... Do we want to play a 4-drop, or do we want to play a Ruthless Raider and also use Troll Chant? I think I want to develop a Renekton. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, just because that gives us some more flexibility next turn, because this will be a 3-drop. Alright. So the question is, do I want to block here? I think I need to block like this. I think I just need to maximize my life. I only have 1 card left in hand. Maybe if I can start deploying multiple units, I can maybe start to stabilize. So let's start with this Yeti, see what happens. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad for us. Wow, okay. Yeah, look, it's really hard to beat this curve from the opponent, so... I mean, I guess I'll attack for 5 here. I mean, I'm going to have to block that, and I'll take a point of damage on blocks, so... And yeah, we're only really winning this game if we can stop taking damage. Okay, it's interesting. Oh, wow. So I think we're just going to play Sejuani, because that effectively deals with 2 of these. Because we freeze 1, and this freeze goes through Spell Shield as well, so that's going to work. And then we trade with the other one, with Sejuani, to take no damage. So this is suspicious, right? Because this is going to go back to full health next turn. So, yeah, when the opponent's making a play like that, I just almost never let them get it. But, oh, man. So I go to 4 here. And then I have 9 power. I can use Predator and have lethal on the crackback. I think I am going to go for this. It's like the opponent really wants us to go to 4 instead of being at 5, but at the same time, I think that's also our best way to win. I'm just going to go for lethal. Nice. All right, we got there. So yeah, misstep from the opponent. Potentially, I don't know what that last card in their hand is, but yeah, maybe maybe their play was fine. Maybe that was their best chance to win. All right, yeah, get those mastery points. Nice. But yeah, this deck is interesting. It has some really interesting play patterns, and one thing that comes up quite a bit that I've noticed playing the deck that if you're playing against it, you should try to utilize is there are heaps of boards where I attack and my opponent might not have great blocks. So they might be facing down, 10 points of damage. But if they block to try to actually gain life in that situation, I can use a copy of Battle Fury to basically deal an extra 8 points of damage that I otherwise wouldn't be able to. And that, wins me a lot of games here. So in those spots, I'm a little concerned my opponent's just going to end the round. So just keep that in mind that sometimes, it's fine they can't kill you. If you're on 12 and they're attacking you for 10 and you don't block, you're actually more likely to die if you block and let them have another opportunity to play Battle Fury. Okay. God, I would like to keep this Exhaust, but I don't know if I can. Maybe I'm not supposed to keep Renekton either. He feels like a good tool to stabilize. Maybe I'll keep a Troll Chant and not Renekton. No, let's just keep Renekton. Alright. So scariest thing they could play here. Yep, Precious Pet is actually okay. It's not as scary as, the 3-2 that they could have played instead. Alright, Ruthless Raider is going to trade off. If they'd played the 3-2, obviously we'd take 1 extra point of damage, but looking to the future, this 3-3 would just trade for the 2-1 instead of being able to threaten to eat it. I'm happy to attack here. So one of the scariest cards they could play is the 3-2, which buffs all of their spiders. I think I'm just going to block like this. Reasons to not block like this are Elise, where being able to clear a spider off the board could be particularly strong. Actually, I think I will block the Fearsome unit, because that could be more threatening in the future. Even though it means I potentially take 1 extra point off this Sabotage. Okay. So we're definitely in the danger zone. Would love to draw a 5/5 Yeti this turn. No, alright, not that one though, but... So we're almost definitely going to play Ruthless Predator this turn. So I think for that reason we have to play another Trapper instead of developing this Ancient Yeti. So we're hitting Renekton with both halves of this so that they can't, use another Noxian Fervor to prevent the damage because it has Overwhelm. And also that would give them the option to, like this, just chump block the 5-power unit instead of the 3-power unit. And they can't really remove Renekton, so there's no real risk there. Alright, this is concerning. So they need 2 points of burn to finish us off. Alright, well now we're dead to a Decimate, so there's not too much we can do about this. Aggro is just so strong right now. Alright, I'm assuming they've got the Decimate if that's how they're emoting. So, I think here we need to set up to try to win on the open attack. So, I mean, if they have another Frenzied Skitterer, how do I beat that? If they have a Doom Beast, I'm fine. So the question is, do I develop Sejuani or do I develop 2 Yetis here? I think 2 Yetis might give me the better shot to win the game next turn. And then if they play another Frenzied Skitterer, okay. We have Renekton's Ruthless Predator here to block fearsome units as well if we need to. Use this Yeti. That's fine. I mean, honestly, I'm still happy that I blocked that way. That still worked out better for me, I think. Okay, so what happens if I attack with everything? They're down to 1 card. Attack with everything. They have to go block, block. But then they survive. So I think it is better for me to develop something here. 5 power or 6 power. Should probably play Ruin Runner. Yeah. If I had Battle Fury here, I would just Battle Fury this and get in. I mean, they emoted me last turn and they didn't have Decimate, so I don't really... Are they emoting because they're dead, or are they emoting because I'm dead? Alright, cool. GG, GG. From the earlier emote, wasn't sure where the opponent was going, but yeah, that was another tight one. So that's sort of how this deck sort of wins in those matchups. You might sort of get very far behind on life total and be in that sort of precarious position. You know, we were sort of dead to a Decimate for multiple turns. We had some options against Adarius, if that's what they played, with the Sejuani in hand to be able to Frostbite it the turn that it came down. But yeah, a lot of aggro floating around at the moment. Nasa's Thresh. I think this is a pretty reasonable matchup for us. It's not too bad. I mean, Troll Chant's not bad, but I just want to look for a few more curve pieces to go with this Omen Hawk. Because yeah, you can end up with hands like this where you get, you know, too many 5s or 6s or just too many cards that don't really do anything by themselves. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and get in. Get our 3 point of damage while we can. Play a Preservarium. Hope they don't have a Ravenous Butcher. I think they might if they're thinking this long. A Rite of Calling. Okay. I haven't seen that card for a little while. Haven't seen it in this shell for a while either. Definitely interesting. So Thresh or Nasus in hand. I'm just going to take 4. Play Preservarium. We don't really want to kill... Like, we don't really want to give them Slay stacks if we can avoid it. Alright, interesting. Wow. I'm a bit surprised by that play from the opponent. I think if they're going to go for something like that, they probably shouldn't open attack. Because, like, we don't really have that many units that punish this play. Alright, so now we're just going to start curving out and hope that's good enough. Alright, so they're currently at 2 Slay stacks for Nasus. Is this a glimpse? Okay, 3 Slay stacks. I'm fine with that. They still take, you know, now they take 7 instead of taking 4, so we'll see how this game goes. That might actually have been good for us, so that could have been a mistake from the opponent. Right of calling again? Okay. Alright, Ruthless Predator is really good for us here. This is a weird play from the opponent. I don't know what this means. Oh, okay. Sure. I wish we had a Troll Chant. That would be great for us here. So what do we do instead? I mean, I guess I'll block here. They probably have a Thresh in hand, so... So our unit's going to be vulnerable anyway. It could give them stacks in the future. I'm going to play the buffed Ruin Runner. Okay. Man, I wish it just showed us how big Nasus was. They almost definitely have a Nasus in hand, so... How big is that Nasus going to be? I'm going to play a Rockhopper, because I think that makes the Nasus development from them a lot more awkward. They have some card choices that aren't, I guess, common, so I haven't really been playing around them that much. For instance, this Ruthless Predator I haven't really seen. The Rite of Calling hasn't really been popping up that much. There's not that much my deck can do about that. So now I'm going to play Renekton, and I'm going to use Renekton to challenge the Thresh. (3-1) can go ahead and get in as well. So I take 4 points here. Do they have another glimpse? Oh, okay. I mean, it's working well for them. I'm a bit worried now. Nasus is really strong now. Oh, wow. Alright, so I have to chump that, basically. So what happens if I go Trapper, Chump? Nasus flips. So we basically have to chump there to try to beat Atrocity. I don't know, maybe we should have just played this Ancient Yeti as well, because then, I mean, we don't even threaten lethal with the Shaped Stone then. 2, 3. I guess we have exact lethal with Shaped Stone if they have nothing else, no Atrocity. Honestly, maybe that is the better line. Have to think about that. Alright, so we have a few really good draws. That's not really one of them. So if we attack with both, we've got the Shaped Stone. Deal potentially 6 damage. So I guess we have to play a Wild Claw. Hopefully they don't play anything with super high toughness. We're hoping they play something with a really low toughness here. That actually does give us a chance to still win. Seven. They block, they take 6, and then Shapestone kills them. So, I mean, if they have nothing else, this works. Come on. Hold. Oh, this can't be good. That doesn't work because of this has Overwhelm. GG. Bam. Nice. Alright, that was a close game. I was not expecting to win that one. That was a sweet one. Alright, thanks everybody for tuning in and checking out some RickoRex Overwhelm. The code will be in the comments below if you want to try it out. Best of luck.